Hi everyone. Yeah, I thought I'd do a video addressing the ultimate act of tone trolling or concern trolling, which is usually this phrase, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar, or something similar to that. Basically someone saying that they'd be more open to your movement or group or point of view or position if you expressed it differently to how you're expressing it now. My overall response to that is I'm not looking to catch flies with honey or with vinegar. The whole metaphor kind of debunks itself because flies are something that don't want to be caught. If you're catching flies, you're taking in something that doesn't really want to be there. So if I were to be looking to catch flies, I would be looking to trick people into getting on board with the various movements and political positions I support, rather than actually bring them in an intellectually honest manner. And I want to bring people in an intellectually honest manner. If you're an anti-vegan, or you're an anti-socialist, or you're an anti-humanist, or you're anti-secularist, or you're an opponent of social justice, you're not my target audience. I'm not trying to bring you in. It's possible you could have a complete turnaround and change of heart, but I think it's unlikely. And the people I'm more pitching my positions to are people who I think are already basically decent people. They're my target audience. People who already have a basic sense of decency, but perhaps have just never thought about these things before. They've never thought about animal cruelty before. They've never really thought about what goes on their plate before. Or they've never thought about the economy before, how it's unfair that as much of the wealth as is controlled by as small a number of people is. Or with things like secularism, they've never thought about how unfair it is that, say, Christians have religious privilege, or they've never thought about how, let's talk about social justice, how unfair it is that certain people, basically because they belong to certain groups, have barriers of access and certain obstacles put in their way simply by virtue of being in those groups. They may just never really have thought about that because it may never have been brought to their attention. Those are the people I like to try and communicate messages to, not people who don't give a fuck about things like that. As far as I'm concerned, if you're actually an odd opponent of these things, that means you've actually thought about it, looked at it, and basically decided that you can't be bothered with it. You don't. I'm not interested in appealing to your better nature because I don't think you've got one. Quite frankly, if you're such an awful human being that you would actually, want people to suffer, you'd want animals to suffer. I'm not interested in trying to change your mind. What will change you is when society as a whole changes. When the bulk of society, all the decent people in society, actually move forward, you're just going to move forward with it because you're not going to have a lot of other option. That's more my. I want to get people on board who are decent people. Then, when there's enough people like that on board, then it can help us move things forward. It can help us make change. It can motivate change, and society will move with us. So, I'm not looking to catch flies with honey or with vinegar. If my method does not work for you, you're not my target audience in the first place. Thanks for watching.